Am I the asshole for canceling my plane ticket? I have a best friend who lives in another state. She has a boyfriend who goes to school with us. But my best friend decided to go home for the summer, so it's just us. Her birthday is coming up and her boyfriend suggested that we fly out to go see her, which I was excited to do. We started making plans and it came time to book the tickets. None of us are rich, but they absolutely have more money than me. And it stressed me terribly to spend $500 on a ticket anywhere. I still bought it. Because she is my friend and she means a lot to me. The two of them had been planning the trip without me and I was excited to see what they'd planned. Once we all got on FaceTime, I realized they planned one-on-one time every single day and I would be left in the city with no friends for hours on end. She didn't plan anything fun for just the two of us to do together. And on the first night, they planned to go on a walk together and leave me in the house with her parents and siblings who I have never met because they think the meet-up would be anticlimactic if they didn't get alone time. Needless to say, I was furious. I know I am just the friend and he is the boyfriend, so he gets more time. But at the bare minimum I expected one thing blocked off for us to do. I felt like some sort of glorified travel buddy for her boyfriend and I didn't spend $500 just to do that. After the FaceTime I wrote him a text letting them know I didn't think I was comfortable going anymore. I still planned to send my friend's birthday gift to her house. But I did not want to go on the trip any longer. She immediately began backpedaling and saying we could change the plans. And I rebutted saying she knew that I'd been coming for weeks and it just was not a priority to her to factor any time with me into her plans. I've talked to some of my friends about this and they agree, saying I shouldn't go there just to sit in a foreign city by myself. Others have said I was too harsh and should have just toughed it out. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Who would want to spend money to be a third wheel for a week? Not the asshole if you don't have it. $500 is a lot to spend on a holiday where you are going to be a third wheel. Not the asshole. Your friend and her boyfriend were treating you like a third wheel on a trip you had to pay for. Stay home and have fun. Not the asshole. Their relationship evolved and you now recognize you would be intruding and cancelled your ticket. That was the wise and mature thing to do. Not the asshole. It was the boyfriend's suggestion you go. And then they act like they don't want you there. It's weird. Save the ticket for something else. Not the asshole. Doesn't sound like any fun to me. Find another time to visit her when it's just the two of you and airfares are cheaper. Hopefully, you can get a refund on these tickets. Not the asshole. If they ask you to come to the trip, they should have included you in all the activities. Maybe take 1 or 2 outings to go alone depending on the length of the trip. It makes no sense to spend $500 on a trip just to stay at home with a bunch of strangers. Not the asshole. If they wanted alone time, they should have tagged you along. I can't imagine being okay with someone spending loads of money to see me then abandoning them with people they don't know. Not the asshole sounds like you were third wheeling, but they've kind of forced it even more. Honestly, it sounds like they didn't actually want you to come, have forced you out, and are just playing the moral high ground. Not the asshole. There's no point spending money that you need for a trip that you clearly won't enjoy. Not the asshole. You were the backup plan. Not the asshole. I wouldn't be paying $500 ticket to be the third wheel. Not the asshole. My husband and I go on trips with my best friend all the time. She has grown to be closer to my husband and we love spending time together, the three of us. I always factor in a chance for just her and I to hang out. In your situation, I could see them maybe doing a single date night or something, but to plan time every day and really force you into an awkward third wheel situation is bullshit. Not the asshole. Sounds like it wouldn't be much fun for you, and that is a lot to pay to hang out with your friends. Family. On the other hand, try not to let this ruin your friendship and just let her know there's no hard feelings, but next time, you'd rather just a trip with her and not the BF. Not the asshole. They seem selfish and inconsiderate. If you want to give them a second chance, you could say that you're canceling the ticket because it's not in your budget. I'm glad you thought to include me. But in looking at your itineraries, seems this is more of a romantic trip and I don't want to be on my own every day for hours, so I'm gonna drop out. What does toughing it out get you? You spend $500 to basically sit in someone's house with strangers. Toughing things out usually means there is a benefit somewhere in there for you. Here, there is none of that. Let the BF go. Send her a gift. Then reconnect when she comes back. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Right decision. Not the asshole. She's only backpedaling because she's not done using you. Tell her the truth. You're not a third wheel. Others have said I was too harsh and should have just toughed it out. In a situation like that, the guidance is, when in doubt, don't tough it out. Tell your idiot friends who said otherwise to go hang out with her family while the two of them screw. Not the asshole. I would do the same. She won't have to change her plans and she can prioritize what she wanted to do on her birthday. There should be little reason for her to complain about this. It's a bad idea to have her change her plans because the worst case is she is resentful towards someone who spent $500 on a flight and present. Save your money. Send her a gift and value your own worth. Be wary of suggestions made by the boyfriend in future too. Not the asshole. Spend $500 just so you can be awkward and uncomfortable. Hard pass. Wish her well and send her a present, but there is no sense in you spending money you don't have to. Be a third wheel. Not the asshole. They forgot about you. I get wanting couple time. But they completely forgot that you would still exist during that time and didn't factor you into the equation except when it was convenient. I'm not saying your friend was tar either. She just didn't think about it. But I wouldn't want to spend $500 to sit in a house full of strangers for several hours a day. Honestly, you should have been part of the planning the entire time. Good job setting boundaries. That was very mature for a 19-year-old. It would make much more sense to go at a different time than her BF, and she would get the best of both worlds anyway. If she isn't open to that, I sadly would reconsider if this really is a best friend. Why should you tough it out? There is not a good reason for it. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Someone needs to care about you and your feelings. It's a pity it's not your friend. Good self-care. Treat yourself to something and save some money. Tough it out at home with $500 in the bank. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She obviously doesn't feel you're a priority. Cancel the ticket and save the money for something else. Not the asshole. If you want to see her, go at a different time. Not the asshole. And this is a valuable life lesson: to never go on trips with only a couple. This stuff is bound to happen, especially at your age. Am I the asshole for wanting to cancel the party that my husband is throwing for his best friend? I 28F and my husband 30M have been dating for 3 years and married for 2. Recently we have bought a house together to start a family. It has a beautiful garden and is overall quite spacious. My husband, let's call him Paul, and his best friend Ethan have known each other since elementary school and are very close. Ethan hadn't had any relationships during the whole time that I have known him. Apparently this is quite rough on him. So my husband decided that he would host a party for him at our house and asked me to invite all my single girlfriends, and they were to invite their single friends as well. To be honest, I really did not want to have a party in our home, especially with me being 7 months pregnant. But I relented and said fine because I thought it could be fun to meet my friends and get my mind of things. We chose a date for the party and invited our friends. An estimated amount of around 30 people, mostly women, would be attending. Even though I am pregnant and cannot drink, I offered my husband that I could be making cocktails for the guests, as this is something that I think is fun and I like making mocktails for myself as well. He kinda looked at me weird and said, well, who else would be making them? Which threw me off a bit, as this was his event and not mine. I took the moment to ask him if he had called a caterer or how he would be feeding the guests to which he gave me a look and replied by saying, I thought you were going to cook. I was sure I wasn't hearing clearly, so I asked him again and got the same answer as before. I told him that there was absolutely no way I was going to feed 30 people and that he should either order food or make it himself. He told me that he was too busy with party planning and work and had no time, and that I should just be making appetizers instead, as people would be mostly drinking anyways. I told him that I would not be doing that, as my pregnancy has been hard on me and I didn't think I had it in me. He told me to just try, and I said no and told him that he should call catering before it was too late. Fast forward 2 weeks and he has not called catering and told me that I had to make the appetizers, as it was too late now anyway. It made me incredibly upset, and I told him that I was going to be cancelling the party because at this point it was stressing me out too much. He called me selfish and told me to quit being such an asshole and to just do something nice for his friend who is struggling. I do feel bad for lashing out on my husband and wonder if I exaggerated. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. He assumed you would cook and make drinks because you're a woman, not because he's too busy. Nip this in the bud now, or you'll be doing everything for the baby. It takes next to no effort to order in a few pizzas. Let him do it. Not the asshole. Your husband is being an I mean, he even states that his job is the party planning. Usually party planning includes food, drink, and entertainment. If you are doing the drinks and expected to do the food, then what exactly is his part in this? Cancel it or tell him to get the barbecue out and get grilling, cause you're making cocktails and socializing with your friends. Not the asshole. Your husband isn't throwing the party. He just came up with the idea for the party as sort of a poor man's The Bachelor actually. You are throwing the party. Cancel the girls. Tell hubby to change the date when he has the catering and bartending and cleanup worked out, and you'll re-invite your friends. But it'll have to be at least 6 months after the baby is born and not at your house. Info: do all the women that you invited know what the true intentions of this party are? Because if you're just inviting your friends to be picked over like produce at a grocery store and they have no idea I'd be pretty mad at you if I were one of your single friends. Do your girlfriends realize this is essentially a cattle call for the benefit of hubby's friend? Personally, I would be insulted when I found out. Not the asshole at all. Think about whether you want to continue to raise a child in this dreadful, misogynistic marriage. Get a hotel or stay with a friend during this weekend. You shouldn't be exposed to stress this weekend while 7 months pregnant. Text your girlfriends and tell them about the situation. I bet they won't come. He can buy some pizzas for his friends. Not the asshole. This whole party was his idea. You are 7 months pregnant, and even cooking for a party of 10 people is a lot. You asked him to plan ahead and he didn't. You are not his caterer or his maid, but if the party happens, I bet he'd expect you to be both. Wow. What a prick your husband is. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but have Ethan come make the food. Raises his potential value as a future partner to the single ladies. Gets your hubby out of his own way for not being considerate to you and gives you a chance to not have to worry about the food. And don't consult hubby first before putting into action. Not the asshole. Holy moly, your gem of a husband volunteered you, a heavily pregnant woman, to cater a party that's basically for the benefit of his friend. This sounds like an awful reality show. If your current husband is busy with party planning, I'd assume that means invitations, decor, enough seats, tables, drinks and food, expecting you to take care of the bulk of this. Sounds like a 1950s life. With this sort of attitude to both you and all the women, he's essentially throwing in a pond so his friend can go fishing. I'm guessing he will never even change a diaper. Not the asshole. Girl, I feel for you when you have this baby. EW. Everything about this is gross. Cancel everything. Party, marriage, house, everything. Husband has succeeded in turning you into his friend's almost pimp. Let that sink in and save the women at this farce of a party the hardship of turning him down. Cancel. Entire. Not the asshole. If you had to invite most of the female guests, and were expected to make the food and drinks, what party planning was your husband too busy with to order food? Not the asshole for wanting to cancel. But your friends are being pimped out to a grown man. BC, he has no game of his own. Also, what party planning is taking up your husband's time? Quotes BC, I'm not sure he deserves that title. Not the asshole. This situation is your wake-up call. He is showing his misogynistic colors. Your husband will totally expect you to handle all household and childcare. Because you are the woman. He wants to run a crowd of women by his friend like on a breeding show. Cancel the party and sit your old-fashioned piece of 50s furniture down for a talk. Inform him that the year is 2023 and he will help with everything. Tell him he needs to concentrate on his family now and not on his loser friend. Not the asshole. Your husband wanted to assemble a harem of single girlfriends to make his buddy feel better. Not the asshole. Tell him to strap on 20 pounds on weight around his middle, then attempt make food for 30 people. And see how it would work for him. Tell him to order a bunch of pizza and wings, then be done with it. Cancel it without hesitation. You're not getting the assistance that you should be, and quite frankly the premise is just odd. Your husband wants to have a singles mixer for his friend. Why are you and your DH responsible for fixing this dude's love life? WTF. Am I the asshole for not wanting to vacation with my family? My sister bought a vacation house that was presented as a gift for the family to use. Since then she's moved into the house, choosing to work from home there. To me it's no longer a vacation house but her home, and that means visiting family, not vacationing. We have a lot to coordinate with kids' schools and work schedules. Whenever we find a time to go, it ends up not being a vacation and basically my sister's show. My sister earns a lot more than the rest of my siblings, and since it is her house, we end up doing what she wants to do and eating where she wants to. Now she's extremely generous and I love her dearly. It's just that while there it's not really a vacation. We cook, clean, and some even work. Unlike my siblings, I don't work from home, so when I take time off work to go on vacation, I actually want to go on vacation. My husband took a new job a couple of years ago and his schedule became more restrictive, so we have been unable to go on these family trips. It's honestly been amazing. We have traveled to new places, relaxed, enjoyed ourselves, and just overall been happier. Now the problem this year, everyone has been trying to plan a trip but our schedules are not lining up. My other siblings got together and decided on a time to go, leaving me out of the conversation. The problem is they planned it at my daughter's birthday. They know we always take off work and take her on a trip to celebrate. Before anyone comes at me, she hates parties and it was her idea. She gets to choose the location and what we are going to do. They announced their plan at a family dinner and our parents were so happy. I was too shocked and stunned at the audacity to say much. Here's where I might be an R. I put my fork down, smiled, and said, I hope you enjoy celebrating my daughter's birthday without us. We already have plans. I then picked my fork up and continued eating while the table was open-mouthed around me. I think even my husband was shocked, but he just smiled and continued eating too. My parents later told me that I hurt my siblings' feelings for ruining their surprise. I told them it wouldn't have been ruined if they had bothered to ask me or include me on the plan making. My siblings are calling me an R for not appreciating the great gift our sister gave us and not respecting her schedule. So am I the asshole for not wanting to vacation with my family? Edit: yes. My family expects us to vacation with them. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear. And these trips have occurred at least yearly since I was a child. We've only not been able to attend recently. Not the asshole. You only get so much time off. Use it as you choose. Not the asshole if somebody plans my vacation for me and without me. I'm not going to smile and pretend I'm excited. My time off is important and my autonomy is even more important. Not the asshole. It sounds like manipulation on their part. Stick to your plans. Take the vacation you want to take. Definitely not the asshole. I guess the only thing that might have made it less dramatic would have been to have to let the group know later that your family couldn't make it due to other plans. That said, the group made pretty significant plans without asking you about it. So they kind of deserved to have their balloon popped. I understand that would have been a frustrating moment and being emotional and frank about it was justified. I hope you stick to the plans you have already made. It is your time. Use it how you choose. Not the asshole they didn't talk to you about it before. And it's your daughter's birthday. And how you choose to vacation is your decision. Not the asshole. You are under no obligation to go on a forced vacation with your family doing stuff that you hate doing. Sister is acting like she's doing you a big favor and it's disingenuous bullshit. I opted out of my family's dysfunctional nightmares and it was the best decision ever. Not the asshole. Surprises are great for little things, not for big things like vacations. You already had plans for your daughter's birthday. This was the risk they took, making plans without your input. And then saying you hurt their feeling is them trying to put the responsibility for their bad planning on you. Your sister said you didn't respect her schedule. But did she respect yours? I missed the part where they invited you. Are you invited, expected to come? Not the asshole. You can't just make plans for people without asking for their input. Everyone has jobs and plans of their own. That's not the type of thing you surprise an adult with. It just doesn't work. Enjoy the trip for your daughter's birthday. Not the asshole, and those vacations sound like hell anyway. Not the asshole, it sounds like they did you a favor. You have plans so you can't go. Just keep taking you little family vacations and relax. I would hate vacationing with my family. Not the asshole. They know you go away every year. This was basically them telling you what you would do whether you like it or not. Good for you and enjoy your trip. Not the asshole. They showed no consideration for you, your husband, or your daughter. They were bothered about your family group not vacationing at Sis's house. The surprise was an attempt to corner you into participating. Info: I'm confused. Why the big announcement and joy from the parents? Because they chose when to have a holiday? Or because they chose a time when they expected you to be free, so presented it as a full family holiday which you'd be going to? I say not the asshole anyway. If you have limited holiday days, it makes sense to save them to do something you actually want to do. Being a guest in someone else's house doesn't feel like a holiday to me. It really sounds like they created a plan they thought you could not refuse. Which is incredibly manipulative. Not the asshole. I love how they're mad you're not respecting your sister's schedule while completing disrespecting you and your schedule. Not the asshole. Info: what is the surprise or gift here? I don't understand. Also, you always go on a trip for your daughter's birthday, so why are you upset that they are going to your sister's home, which you don't enjoy anyways? What is the big deal? Absolutely not the asshole. They planned your daughter's birthday trip without consulting you. It's not actually a restful vacation. And worst of all, instead of your parents thinking, what would my granddaughter like to do on her birthday? They care more about hurting grown adults' feelings. Keep strong with your boundaries. It sounds like your trips are a great experience for your family. And your response was gold. Not the asshole. Did your siblings think this would be a birthday surprise for your daughter, or did they forget, or? Not the asshole. They planned a vacation and expected you to rearrange your life to fit it in. Anyone who is upset that you will not be there is the R. Your family wants to vacation in different places as a smaller family unit. Not the R at all. Sorry, I'm confused. Why would it be a surprise for you since they didn't check if you could come? Why would they be annoyed if they didn't check your availability? I don't think you the are. But you could have just said, that sounds amazing for you guys, I can't wait to hear all about it. They didn't check with you. They didn't ask if you wanted to come. They didn't make any arrangements with you, so why would they assume you're coming? Not the asshole. And I love your husband, great guy, sticking up for you in a subtle way. Am I the asshole for refusing to help my daughter honor her stepfather at her wedding? I have 2 children, Emily and Hayes, with my ex-wife. She left me a few months after Hayes was born and ended up getting back together with her. School ex Sam. Sam and my ex ended up marrying 7 months later. Emily has always adored Sam. I, however, hate the guy. For years he would work on getting under my skin, saying I wasn't a good enough dad to my daughter because I wasn't enough and she considered him her dad too. He'd tell me every single time she had called him Daddy Sam or Dad Sam. When I told him he was being childish, he'd tell me in return that he knew it cut me up inside to have to share her affection as dad. He told me one day he would be walking her down the aisle and maybe she'd even want him to do it alone and would not want me anywhere near them for that. Despite all this, Sam was never able to come between me and Emily, and we have always been very close. Sam never cared for Hayes as much. I think Hayes being gay has a large part to play in Sam not caring for him as much as he does Emily. There are times I had to restrain myself from exploding in front of the kids when Sam would taunt me. I knew he'd love a chance to get me out of my kids' lives. Last year Sam was diagnosed with motor neuron disease. He's now in a wheelchair and has lost his mobility, and his speech has suffered greatly. Emily is getting married in a few months and wanted us both to bring her down the aisle. A week ago she came to my house and told me she wanted to pay a special tribute to Sam and she wanted my help to do it, both finance and planning. I told her I would not help her with that. She was upset. Said Hayes refused to help her as well. She told me Sam means a lot to her and she would have thought I would be glad that she had two amazing father figures. I told her Sam and I did not have a positive relationship and there is no way I would ever spend my money or time doing something nice for the man. I told her he had treated me poorly over the years and I accepted she loved him. But he was not worthy of my money or that effort in my eyes. She asked me if I would do it for her. I told her I could not. She said okay. Emily's fiancé called me up after this and said whatever petty issues between Sam and I, could I not do something for my daughter when she's going to lose one of her most special people? He said I was breaking Emily's heart because she doesn't want to be caught between us. That it's clear I am enjoying watching Sam suffer as he is, and that's proven by my actions, and I'm not being a good dad to Emily. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole op. Actions have consequences. Tell fiancé if he feels you're ruining his fiancé's big day, he can arrange for that along with his MIL's help. He will back out for sure once he hears it. Also, your daughter never felt bad when her stepdad was taunting you and her brother, but now feels dejected that you aren't going out of your way to help that same man. Not the asshole. Ask Emily why it was okay for Sam to dismiss Hayes because he was gay yet show her so much attention. Because she wasn't. Her relationship with Sam is her own. She can't expect others to forget or ignore their own mistreat by Sam just to make her happy. She is an adult. She should know better. Not the asshole. It's time to sit Emily down and explain everything. She's an adult. And her wishes don't get to overwrite other people's trauma. Sam is homophobic. And has antagonized you for years for the sake of twisting the knife as much as possible. Her stepfather is an awful human being, and honestly it seems he was only good with her to get at you. She may have positive memories of him. But she's the only one. And she's allowed them. But she doesn't get to pretend he wasn't horrific to everyone else. My response would be, I'm not ready to make nice. Sam's been an epic dick. There's no way in hell I'd front money or effort to help someone who's treated me like that. You may nope yourself right out of the wedding. But only because you have the self-worth to not allow yourself to be a doormat. The problem lies with Sam, not you. And he needs to make it right. Unable to do that, Emily and her fiancé need to understand that one of Emily's most special people is the asshole who caused the current situation. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Have you sat down with her calmly and explained to her all the things he has said and done to you? It's not a matter of sour grapes on your part. This man actively and purposefully tried to turn your own child against you for his own benefit. Give specific incidents. Take the time before you talk to her to write it all down. This man's words and actions caused you great harm and absolutely did impact your relationship with your daughter. Not the asshole. If she wants to honor him, have her mom help her. Not the asshole. I think part of me says that a couple getting married should be given a lot of leeway to celebrate the day however they like. And the families should set differences aside to make it happen. But reading this, I don't think you're being unreasonable in saying I did not have a good relationship with this person, so I don't want to be a part of honoring them. Seems like they should be able to figure out how to do so without your involvement. Info: what is the special tribute she has planned? And why would she come to you to finance it? I can see you contributing to any other aspect of the wedding. But why did she come to you for this specific request when she knows how much contention it would inevitably cause? Not the asshole, but because of this he may get his wish of you not being there. Not the asshole. Why can't his wife pay for it? Ridiculous. Not the asshole. The level of emotional manipulation that Sam has been able to inflict seems to have long stems, including into the fiancé. If Emily is determined to honor Sam, then it should be on her own dime and not yours. Fiancé is majorly overstepping in terms of emotionally manipulation. Maybe point out he could finance it himself, or do you need to do it because he isn't even paying for his own wedding? Not the asshole. It seems really odd Emily would be blissfully unaware of the situation between Sam Hayes and you for all this time. Surely as a 30-year-old she's financially stable and intelligent enough to pay for something herself. Also, to involve the fiancé was out of line. I just don't understand why she want to do something extra for her stepdad. What kind of a tribute does any parent need at a child's wedding? Not the asshole. I'm sure she can find a way to honor this guy without dragging you into it. She should respect what you went through. Not the asshole. Sam has had a lot of time to consider how his actions might have consequences. Frame it like Sam is serving as an example of why you shouldn't be a jerk. Info: what the fuck does she want to do that would take money and wedding to show tribute to her living stepdad at her wedding? This is bizarre. Please explain. Sam was a freaking sadist. Just because he is dying does not mean you have to make nice or play happy families. Your daughter is asking too much. Do not allow her to emotionally manipulate you into making a decision you are uncomfortable with. She may have loved him, but it is not right or appropriate that she asks this of you. Neither you nor Hayes have a positive relationship with this man. If she is happy with Sam treating the people she loves badly, well, that says more about Emily than anyone else. Not the asshole. Would I be the asshole for not inviting my parents or siblings to my wedding after what they said? My fiancé and I are planning our dream wedding but want to keep it small. From the get-go, my fiancé and I both said that we do not want any children at our wedding due to a number of reasons. 1. We want to get married in the bush somewhere where wild animals roam freely. And the age limit is 16 and up. This is non-negotiable because small children are at risk. Venue requirements. 2. We both know from personal experiences that one person always ends up looking after the children and do not enjoy the wedding. 3. We want to have just adults at the wedding so that we can celebrate the day properly. My parent and siblings explicitly stated that my nieces and nephews will be required to go to the wedding and I have no choice in this matter. My dad even went as far to say that if my nephew will not be allowed to go, he will then also not go. This broke my heart as I am the only girl in the family and now he doesn't want to even attend. My brothers said I do not care what she wants. My children will be there. Take into consideration that all my nieces and nephews are under the age of 7. My fiancé's family has been super supportive and respects our wishes of not having any children at the wedding. They even made arrangements up until this point to have the little ones taken care of. Now I am honestly considering not inviting my parents anymore because they are forcing me to do something that is not part of our wishes. I love them all dearly, but I feel they don't want to make the sacrifice for me and my fiancé's big day. As I ultimately mean it us getting married and not them. So would I be the asshole for telling them that I will not be inviting them as they want to rather spend the day with their grandchildren than celebrate the day with me? Edit 1 forgot to add. My fiancé and I are paying for our whole wedding. Neither the in-laws nor my family us contributing a cent because it's always a one-sided competition with my mom of they gave this much and we can only give this and now we look bad or stuff like that, so we are avoiding this situation completely. Not the asshole. My parent and siblings explicitly stated that my nieces and nephews will be required to go to the wedding and I have no choice in this matter. Remarkable. I don't know what else to say. My brothers said I do not care what she wants. My children will be there. They really are the gift that keeps on giving. If the venue requires everyone to be over 16, then the venue won't allow them in. It's beyond yours and their control. So they can try and bring them, but it means they won't be allowed in the venue. They are not respecting your wishes or the venue. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Call their bluff. If your dad would really rather take a silly stand about venue requirements rather than give his only daughter away, wheel that gets to be his regret. Fill your wedding with people who love and support you. No negativity allowed. My brothers said I do not care what she wants. My children will be there. This is more than whinging about babysitters or feeling left out. Why are your brothers being dictators? That makes no sense. I would uninvite the whole lot. And, if possible, change the date. And not tell them. I have seen some family members railroad people here. But this is ridiculous. They aren't paying a dime. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your wedding. Your rules. But did you tell them that it's not that you just don't want kids there, but that kids aren't allowed to be there for safety measure? To be totally honest, if you have already tell them that, then your family isn't the smartest. Not the asshole. The bride and groom don't need any reason other than we want a child-free wedding. It is your wedding. It's too bad that your family is being such pills about this. But heck, if you're getting married in a venue that doesn't allow kids under 16, the problem sort of solves itself, right? Stick to your guns. This mindset of some people, that children should just be accepted everywhere, no matter what, is toxic as all get out. Mom and grandma here. Grown kids. Several grandkids. People have a right to enjoy things child-free if they want to. Not the asshole uninvite them because they've already said they will break the rule anyway. Follow that up by going low contact. Not the asshole. Your parents are not interested in you getting married. They want a family reunion paid for by you. That's why they are all insisting. It sounds like there have been a lot of conversations about it behind your back. Are you the family scapegoat by any chance? ETA, please put a public post on social media stating the venue's rules. I wouldn't put it past them to turn up with the kids and turn it all around on you. How sad that you have to preemptively think of the possible ways your family will try to ruin your special day. No, you would not. This is your wedding. Your day. If they want to make it about themselves, so be it. They can miss out on what will be a wonderful ceremony and suck it up. Do what you need to do, op. Not the asshole assuming you're paying for the wedding yourself. Just say, as cheerfully as possible, sorry, brother, dad, etc. We're not having children under 16 due to venue requirements and safety issues. If this means you can't attend the wedding, we understand and hope to celebrate with you some other time. Now, if your dad is paying for some or all of the wedding, you have to abide by his rules and let him have some control over the guest list. If you're paying for it yourself, then you have full reign over the guest list. Not the asshole's your wedding. Not theirs. If you don't want kids there, then no kids should be there. And personally, I'd hire a bouncer just to be sure none of them do try to show up with the kids. Not the asshole. Just let them know you are sorry to hear that they won't be able to attend your wedding. Don't bother even sending them invitations based on what they are saying. Because if they are SVP yes, then turn up with the kids. The venue won't let them in because of safety. So you will have paid for people not attending. No. I'd tell them to come alone without kids or not at all. And if dad said he isn't coming because the kids aren't, tell him that that is fine if that is what he chooses to do. It's your wedding and you shouldn't have to make an exception for them just because they are family. Which I'm guessing is why they are doing it to begin with. Not the asshole. Email the venue what would happen if people turn up with children. Hopefully they will confirm that they will be refused entry. Include it in the wedding invitations and let the chips fall where they fall. At the end of the day, as bride and groom, you 100 decide the sort of wedding you have. Likewise, your guests 100 get to decide if they want to attend or not. Oh hell no. Not the asshole. You are definitely in the right for not allowing children. If they don't want to attend because of that, that's their problem. I would make sure there is security. In case they still try to show up with the kids. You are in no way the not the asshole. And with this attitude from your family, I would seriously consider eloping. Not the asshole. Explain to your parents that the venue does not allow children. They would not be allowed even if your siblings showed up with your nieces and nephews. Ask your parents, are they willing to end your relationship over one day? Once you get the point across to your parents, perhaps they can emphasize it to your siblings since they are backing up the siblings. I'm sure they will pass this on to them as well. Am I the asshole for calling my sil stupid after she got upset about my wedding dresses? I am Indian American. My sil is white. We're both getting married within a few weeks of each other. My parents and in-laws are paying for most of my wedding. My brother and sil decided to pay for their own wedding. My parents are going to pay for the reception because the groom's parents traditionally pay for that, but they're paying for everything else themselves. My sil invited me to go dress shopping with her yesterday. She already had her dress for the white wedding and yesterday she bought lehengas, Indian dresses. For the reception and pre-wedding event she's condensing all the events into one day. After she bought her clothes she asked to see mine. I did most of my wedding shopping in India. I have 4 lehengas, all of which are from a famous Indian bridal designer. The one that I'm wearing to my actual wedding was about $10,000 USD and all of them cost about $25,000. Put together, including jewelry and accessories. My wedding outfits cost around $50,000. I didn't offer any of this information. My sil asked me to tell her. After I told her, she was pretty shocked and asked if I'm making my parents pay for all that. I'm not. They're paying for 2 of the dresses and the jewelry, but my fiancé's parents are paying for my reception dress because they're hosting the reception, and my mom's brother paid for my wedding dress because the bride's maternal uncle traditionally pays for the wedding dress. Sil said that just one of my dresses costs more than hers and my wedding is probably going to overshadow hers because mine is 2 weeks before and the guests are probably going to be talking about how her sil had nicer dresses and a much more extravagant wedding. I said that she's being stupid and hardly anybody will even remember what I wore at my wedding. I'm generally pretty soft-spoken and I don't cuss, so calling someone stupid is about as harsh as I get. She got upset and left my house looking like she was about to cry. Later my brother called and said that she's really sad and should lied or changed the topic. I'm a really bad liar and I don't know how I could have changed the topic when she was there to see my dresses. Sil and I have been good friends since before she was with my brother and she's always been very emotional. She'll probably be over it by Monday at the latest, but I feel bad about upsetting her. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Though I am curious about why she and your brother felt like they had to decline help from your parents. When there's that bigger disparity between wedding budgets and family support, it's usually because there's some underlying tension somewhere. Maybe they just preferred to keep it low-key and under their control and she had last-minute envy when she saw how luxe your setup is. If she usually calms down, reach out in a couple of days and ask her how she's doing. Not the asshole comparison is the thief of joy. She really needs to stop that. Focus on herself, her wedding, her day, and get her jealousy under control. You and your family made your choices as adults. Everyone consenting adults. She and her fiancé made their choices in regards to their wedding. The conflict is jealousy and comparison. But no, you are not the asshole. If you don't mind me asking, who is the designer? Manish Malhotra, Anita Dogger, Sabish Sichi. So many amazing options. Not the asshole. She asked for all this and you answered. Nah. But you're being very naive. Just because someone asks doesn't mean you need to answer. You don't have to lie or be mean about it. Just smile and fudge. Oh. Probably way too much. Want to go get coffee? I don't remember, I was so jet-lagged. I don't want to talk about it, I feel bad spending this much. But I'm only getting married once. Many things shouldn't be divulged to people you're not at least reasonably confident will react well, and keep your confidences. BC once it's out. You can't take it back. Edit Esh. Your sil is being jealous based on the numbers you tell her. She should just mind her own wedding and enjoy attending yours and having hers instead of worrying about the silliest things. But you shouldn't have called her stupid. That was definitely unnecessary and you should take accountability for that even if she does get over it by Monday. Be responsible for your actions. Even if she said something that's ridiculous to you. You could point out that everyone will know she didn't have the financial help you did, and while her wedding may not be as fancy, it is all hers without compromise. It's something she can focus on and use to make herself proud when she feels inferior. Not saying either way is better. Just trying to bolster her self-esteem when as easy as it is to say don't compare. She's obviously already done it. It doesn't have to be something you believe for it to be true for her. Not the asshole. Indian parents just love putting money towards their children's weddings, but when one kid says no, they basically give up rights to compare against their siblings' wedding being more fancy. I think parents should put that money in a fund to help the bridegroom kickstart their life together. I don't even make in a year what you're spending on outfits for one ceremony. Sorry, yeah, I know that's no one's problem besides my own. But my God, that just makes me want to cry. Not the asshole or whatever. Are you getting your dress from Sabyasachi? His dresses are so beautiful. How are you supposed to lie when you don't know how she's going to react in the first place? Like if she was going off about you spending so much on dresses in the beginning and then ask, maybe you could fudge it a little. But just asking you how much did that cost, how are you supposed to know what answer she's looking for? Your brother's a little bit delusional on that one. You are not the asshole. Not the asshole. Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. Not the asshole. Sil should be grateful you didn't charge admission for the privilege of witnessing your fabulousness. Not the asshole. Don't ask questions you might not like the answer to. Not the asshole. You only answered questions that were asked. Most people don't ask for prices because it's rude. Pulling the whole wedding comparison overshadowing crap is lame of Sil. But you could have dealt with it more politely rather than just saying she is being stupid. You're the asshole. You couldn't have simply told your Sil that her wedding will be lovely too and not to worry about yours overshadowing hers. Calling her stupid was really the best you could do. You're the asshole. Actually, I think your Sil got very anxious about the situation and probably needed some consoling about it. Because she's right. Your wedding will be much more extravagant than hers. She just needed to be reminded of how it shouldn't matter and that she's going to be so lovely too. You didn't have to tell her that her feelings were stupid right to her face and then patronize her about how no one will remember what you wore when you have $50,000 worth of outfits. I'm going to say poor choice of words, but not the asshole. What was really wrong was for her to be asking the cost of things. That's rude. It's too bad that she didn't care for the answers. Your brother has anything else to say, remind him that polite people don't ask what something cost. Am I the asshole for telling my brother that I'm staying at a hotel because his kids are loud? I came back home to my parents' house after about 3 years. My 2 older brothers and their families were also invited for a few days as a way for the entire family to catch up. I was beyond excited to see everyone. My oldest brother Malcolm has 2 4- and 6-year-old sons. We would all be staying at our old rooms as arranged by my mom. The house is spacious and I thought there would be no problems. There was. My nephews are loud. Very, very loud. I usually work a very demanding job and I'm sleep deprived 90 of the time anyway. I really didn't want to go on with this sleep deprivation. And I booked a hotel nearby. Malcolm found out and he kept telling me I was ruining the trip and family dynamics, that we were all supposed to be together now. I told him everyone would be more comfortable this way. He kept asking me for a reason, and ultimately I said it was because I wanted my own space to comfortably sleep in, and that was hard to do with kids running around. Malcolm got really upset and called me a horrible aunt and a terrible person. I told him I'd let our mom know and she was okay. He went on to call me the golden child who wouldn't tolerate the smallest inconvenience for family, and said I was selfish. My other brother Paul has sided with him. But our parents agree with me and say as long as I show up for the main events it doesn't matter where I sleep. I asked a few friends and they're all torn. So I thought I'd ask here. Was I the not the asshole? Just wondering because I've been reading too many similar Reddit